Do you want to get organized, but the price of all the organizing bins and tools that you see promoted is just more than your budget can bear? Or maybe you're overwhelmed by the variety of products that are available and you just don't know where to start. No worries. There are free and almost free options that work great and look great too. And you don't need to have any special tools or special crafting skills to make these organizing ideas work for you and look great in your home. Hi, I'm Susan Santoro. I'm a professional organizer at Organize 31, and I'm the mother of 3. I help busy people make the space and time for what's most important to them, and I focus on simple, budget-friendly ideas that really work. Thanks to the military, I've moved more than 25 times into homes across the country and around the world. As a result, I've lived in all types of homes with all types of organizing challenges. Because of all those frequent moves and a limited budget, I didn't want to invest in expensive organizing tools that might get broken in the move or might not even work in my next home. I've always searched for ways to organize with repurposed items because it was easy on the budget, and if it didn't work in my next home or got broken in the move, I could recycle those items with no guilt. My upcycled organizing ideas are never complicated, and they work just as well as expensive solutions, and they work for anyone's home. Organizing is about finding what works for you and your needs. It's absolutely not about expensive organizing products. There aren't magic organizing products. I wish there were. Organizing is about the priorities and systems that meet your needs, your life, and your space. When you use repurposed organizing ideas, you're able to focus more on the organizing system and what works best for you. You're not limited by having purchased expensive organizing products that you now need to figure out how to make them work. Today, I'll share why you might want to use repurposed organizing, where to find items that you can repurpose, and I'll show you examples of how I've used repurposed organizing in my own home so you can see how it really works. Here's a simple example of how I used the lid from a store-bought Danish container to create a substitute for a $20 acrylic pull-out bin. Using the tray allows me to pull out the drink cans and access ones that would otherwise be lost in the back of a deep cabinet. Tell me I'm not the only one that's had that experience. But using this free lid from the Danish tray that otherwise would have been thrown into the recycling bin provided the perfect organizing that I needed and saved me $20 and a trip to the store. Now that you've seen what I mean by repurposed organizing, let's acknowledge that many of us think that organizing products are what organization is really all about. I love those pretty and expensive organizing products as much as the next person, but you don't have to purchase them to be organized. Organizing is really about the organizational system, one that works for your particular needs, your personality, your space, and your budget. You can be just as organized with free and inexpensive products. Organizing products are tools that make the system work. The products are not the magic, the system is. There are several situations where you may prefer to use upcycled organizing ideas. One is if you have no budget. 2 is if you move frequently like I did and you don't want to purchase products, invest in them, and then have them get broken in the next move or not fit in your next home. Maybe you're not sure what your organizing style or your decor style is, but you don't want to wait to get organized. You want to get organized now and invest in products later. Maybe you're a person that wants to keep as many items out of the landfill as possible. So you're looking for ways to reuse items that you already have. Maybe you love the creative challenge of repurposing items and finding a new way to use them in your home. As a professional organizer, I often recommend to my clients that we start organizing using repurposed items. That way we can work out the system and try things out without investing in organizing products by using items they already have. Once they know that the system is going to work well with them, then they can slowly replace those repurposed items with purchased products if they would would like. Here are some more examples from my own home that cost me absolutely nothing, work well as organizers, and the only thing I had to invest was a little bit of time in washing a couple of the items. The black organizer that's holding the stamping ink pads was originally a music CD rack that I no longer needed for CDs. I realized it could be repurposed to organize my craft stamp pads. The clear container holding the vitamin bottles was a plastic container that spring mix lettuce came in. It otherwise would have been thrown into the recycling bin, so I put it to use as an organizing bin. You can see the plastic rings that are used for soda cans was added to a hanger and created a scarf organizer. And finally, empty water bottles are used to support boots when I store them in my closet. Let's talk first a little bit about organizing, and then I'll share many different examples with you of how to incorporate repurposed items into your organizing. An important part of organizing is containing items and then assigning them a home or a place. And this often works best by using containers. Again, there are many beautiful and brilliantly designed organizing bins and products, and I love them just as much as the next person. Some of the items are worth investing in because they do make life easier, and others are worth the expense because they're simply beautiful and they make you happy. However, none of them are necessary for organization. I'm going to share with you ways to repurpose or upcycle, and no craft skills are necessary. Items to create free or almost free organizing containers. So here's another example from my home. Starting in the upper left corner, the purple basket was an extra basket that had been laying around in my home. It didn't have a purpose, so I put it here in the drawer. It worked ideally. Next to it in the center is the blue container, and those are containers that when you purchase mushrooms, the mushrooms come in. In front of the blue container, you'll see the two clear containers. Those are small plastic packaging that shortening sticks for baking come in. They work perfectly here for holding those coffee stirrers and those lids. In front of that is a clear package that lettuce came in, and in the bottom left corner is the lid to a deli sandwich that holds reusable straws in my drawer. I often incorporate repurposed items with purchased items that I have, and it makes my organization systems work perfectly for me. Let me show you an example in my home. These are organized items in my bathroom. On the left, you can see that a white tray holds 3 different organizing containers. The one marked number 1 is a souvenir wine glass from my senior prom. I still use it for organizing because it makes me smile every day when I see it. The one marked number 2 is a Mother's Day gift that one of my children made for me. It works perfectly for organizing, and it also brings me a smile. Number 3 is a repurposed hairspray lid. It fits perfectly in this space, and it does its job. On the right, you can see that the white tray is really a holiday sign. I use the sign for decor about 2 weeks a year, and the rest of the time it's useful for organizing. The first repurposed organizing principle I want to share with you is use what you already have. So take a quick walk around your home, look for empty bins, or look for bins that are partially filled, because those ones that are just partially filled often are filled with things you didn't know what to do with, so you just threw them in the bin. Now is the time to look at them, declutter those items, and use that bin you already have. You don't need to go to the store and buy a new one. I use this principle all the time with clients. So this is an example that I've used in my home. My children received many small baskets when they were younger. Once my children got older and they no longer wanted the baskets, I put the plastic ones that are easy to clean to use in my kitchen and in my bathroom. One day I was organizing the bookshelf in my office that's right behind my desk. I was frustrated that the key notebooks that I use every day kept falling over. I realized that I had an extra plate rack that can also be used for pot lids in my kitchen. What was previously an unused item was cluttering up my kitchen. It now lives happily in my office, and it does the organizing job perfectly for me. A second idea that I use often is to use seasonal items for organizing. You probably have many items in your home that you only use a couple of times a year, like holiday items or seasonal items. Put them to use organizing in your home, and then when you need them those couple of times a year, take them from the organizing job, use them for their main use, and then put them right back to organizing. One example is you can use a cake stand that you might use a few times a year. You can put it to use organizing, holding jewelry, or next to your sink in your bathroom holding lotions and makeup. Another example that I use frequently is to use holiday boxes and cookie tins for organizing. Realistically, you're only going to use those decorated items a few days or maybe weeks a year. That means that you have 50 other weeks every single year that you can put those items to use. In my own home, I use a summer serving tray, as you can see here in number 1, to organize baking tools in my drawer in my kitchen. Number 2, I use a cooling rack to organize storage container lids. And I use a picnic caddy to organize pens and items on my office desk. Those 3 to 4 times a year that I do need these items, I simply pull them out, give them a quick wash, happily put them to use for their main purpose, and then after that, I put them back to work organizing. Third idea I'd like to share with you is to use items that can no longer do their original job. For example, they may have a small crack or a chip, or maybe the container lost its lid, so it can no longer be used for its main purpose, but you can repurpose it. You can see in the photo on the left that I use a cake pan lid that got a chip in the corner as an organizing tray in my drawer. You never see the chipped area because it's hidden under the knife holder. No one but you and me knows that the organizing tray is actually a broken lid. Using it saved money and saved one more item from going to the landfill. The bowl in the middle photo was brought home from my daughter's study abroad trip, and it was broken during the trip home. No one ever sees the chip on the side, and I can still enjoy the beautiful design every time I open that drawer. And the container holding the dishwasher detergents lost its lid. So while I don't use the container to hold food any longer, it works perfectly to hold dishwasher detergent tabs. Another repurposed organizing idea I love to use is to use decorative or souvenir items you have. So why not put them to work in your home where you can enjoy how beautiful they are, but they're also helping you get organized. This includes items that your children have made for you and have great sentimental value. I use clay pots that my 3 children have made me because with 3 children, I have a lot of those clay pots. You can see them in the middle photo organizing hair clips. My favorite repurposed organizing principle is to use items that come into your house as packaging for the product that you purchased. For example, the socks on the left are folded and organized in the lid of a deli sandwich box. And the washi tape trays on the right are, don't tell on me, but they're cookie trays from store-bought cookies. This type of packaging is usually thrown straight away or recycled. So why not just repurpose something that's already come into your home and put it to work? The first place to start is with packaging that items come in. Often that packaging is designed to be able to help you keep items organized. You don't have to take time to remove items from their packaging and then put them in another bin to be organized. For example, you don't have to remove soda cans from the box that they came in. You really can use the cardboard box and you're just as organized. You can also use the boxes that plastic bags come in. I simply cut the lids off of larger boxes because that makes it easier to access the plastic bags. And with the smaller boxes, I just leave the lids on and use the opening in the box. I place the boxes in the drawer so that they don't slide around and it's just as organized. I use many different packaging items. All I have to do is wash them and then put them to use. If the container is going to be holding food, be sure that you're choosing food-safe containers. Packaging that I frequently use in my home are things like the lettuce and produce containers that you can see in the top left photo. And I use a variety of clear food-safe containers that you can see in the upper middle photo. You can see a berry container that's holding ribbon in the top right photo. The bottom right photo shows a clear acrylic box that held candy. And then you see another one of the blue produce boxes that held mushrooms. And in the container to the right holding the red round cheeses is a lunchbox container that lost its lid. So right here, I'm using several of my organizing principles to organize the drawer in my refrigerator. You can even create your own Lazy Susan or turntable by using the lid of a bakery pie or cake. I'm fine with turning the lid by hand, but if you'd like to create one that can spin, you can put one lid inside of another, but in between those 2 lids, place a layer of marble or beads that will allow the top lid to spin inside of the bottom one. And that creates a turntable that spins bins, there are many ways to repurpose plastic bottles and bottle caps. For example, the ones holding pasta in the top right and holding dog treats, those bottles originally held popcorn kernels. But I also use bottles to hold things like children's toys and craft items, as you see with the yarn jar and the jars with the blue lids that are holding craft supplies. Lids from bottles and hairspray cans are great for organizing smaller items like makeup and other bathroom items. I've also found that pill bottles are helpful for small items in small spaces. I like to have smaller items like tweezers and nail clippers standing up rather than laying down in a tray. And as you can see, the pill bottle works ideally for me. Boxes have been used as repurposed organizers for years. They can still be a very good choice, but I recommend against using shipping boxes that may bring dirt or grease into your home. Also, use boxes sparingly for repurposed organizing if you live in a climate or a situation where there may be pests. Mice and bugs can be attracted to the cardboard and the glue that are used in cardboard boxes. However, clean boxes can still be a great organizing solution. So I've just shared ways that you can use repurposed items exactly as they are for organizing, but it's easy to dress up repurposed items so that they look pretty and match your decor. And the ideas I'm going to share with you are truly no skills necessary beginner level ideas of ways to take your repurposed organizing to the next level. My go-to and easiest decorating trick is to use washi tape, repositionable vinyl, and stickers. Washi tape is great because it's inexpensive, it's easy to find, easy to use, and can be removed with no damage to items. This means you can change it out as often as you want. The upper center photo is decorative tape added to a simple warehouse store cardboard box. The two white buckets were birthday party favors that my children didn't want, so I decorated the buckets to coordinate with their bathroom and immediately put them to work. The center bottom photo are plastic soda and water bottles that were cut with scissors to create office organizers. The washi tape covers the slightly rough edges where the bottle was cut. No sanding or special tools were needed. Spray paint and permanent markers are also easy to use to customize your repurposed organizing. Always make sure that you choose paint and permanent markers that will work on the surface that you're using, because you can find paint and markers that will work on almost any surface. The yellow Lego head storage was made with just a permanent marker, a white mailing label, and a cornstarch can. It was fun making it with my son, and we were able to choose different expressions for each of the four sides. The green monogrammed bin was made from a kitty litter container, sprayed with paint, and the monogram was made with a pencil and a permanent marker. The technique I used can be found on my blog, and it's very simple. I promise you, I'm not artistic, so if you can trace a letter, you can use this technique too. The recycling can uses the same lettering technique, and it started with a metal holiday popcorn tin. These types of tins can also be decorated to make great storage containers. You can really dress up a simple shoebox with some fabric and packing tape or spray adhesive. You can also use decorative paper in place of the fabric. It's truly easy to create a high-end decorator look for your home. In the top and bottom images, I had upcycled old sweaters of mine to decorate shoe boxes and an oatmeal box. It took about 4 or 5 minutes to create each of the organizing bins. Really, these stylish organizing bins are still in use in my office, and it's been about 10 years since I've made them, so they really have held up. You can find the simple step-by-step tutorial on my blog. If you have a shoebox, some fabric, some packing tape, and 4 or 5 minutes, you can make your own. As I said, you can use decorative paper in place of the fabric, and it's just as easy to create beautiful, one-of-a-kind organizing containers. The top left photo uses 2 cocoa containers in fonts that are available online. Double stick tape holds the decorative paper and labels in place. The next photo in the top row is cigar boxes that were decorated and then used in office organizing. Check with your local cigar store. They often give away these boxes for free. The next photo is the box that holds tuna packets on the store shelf. Decorative paper, a flower embellishment, and voila, a desk organizer. The top photo was a nice-sized gift box that held individually wrapped cookies. It was decorated to create a memory box for my husband, who was an Air Force pilot. Metal cans are another item that have been used for years in repurposed organizing. They're easy to decorate, and they come in so many different sizes and can be put to so many different uses. I want to caution you to always make sure that there are no sharp edges when you're going to repurpose a can. Fortunately, many cans today come with pull-off lids and you don't have to use a can opener. It makes it that much easier to use those cans for repurposed organizing. I recommend using decoupage glue that dries clear when you're attaching decorative papers to the can. The glue helps hold the paper on the curved shape of the can better than double stick tape or other types of adhesives do. 3 foundations for organizing is assigning a home or space to every item, containing loose items, and then labeling your organization so that it's easy to find and put away. So not only does labeling take your organizational system to the next level, it also can take the decor aspect to the next level and make it coordinate with your entire home. Labeling doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. You can achieve functional and attractive labels with these simple tips. You can use plain old masking tape and choose a pretty color marker for your label. I don't have nice handwriting, but I still think that this label looks pretty good. In the second image, you see the simple transfer technique that I've mentioned earlier, and all it requires is a computer printer, a pencil, and a permanent marker. You can find the step-by-step tutorial on my blog. And the bottom photo shows a label printed out on my printer using basic fonts. You don't have to get complicated. Sometimes simple and clear is the best choice when it comes to labeling. So I've shared a lot of different repurposed organizing ideas with you today. So I want to give you 3 ways to get started today in using repurposed organizing in your own home. So number 1 is look around your home for organizing bins and products that are not being used. Gather all those items into one place, a closet or your basement or some out-of-the-way place, and look in that place first when you go to start creating your organizing systems. The second thing you can do is look in your home for items that you already have that you can repurpose for organizing. Souvenir items, other things that you have, like the dish rack that I repurposed to hold my binders. Look for things you already have that you can use to organize. And the third thing you can start doing today is start looking at packaging before you throw it away or recycle it. Look at it and see if you can put it to use in your home to address an organizing challenge that you have. But let me caution you, don't start collecting too many items or they'll just become clutter in your home. That's not helpful to you. Just start looking at things with fresh eyes and you'll start seeing all the possibilities. I guess you can tell that I really am excited about repurposed organizing, and I want to help you get just as excited. So as a special gift for you, I'm sharing my no-cost kitchen organizing tips and ideas ebook. There are many ways to organize your kitchen with repurposed items, and this 27-page ebook will get you started with tips for decluttering, organizing advice, and ways to incorporate repurposed items in your organizing systems. It's the ideal resource to help you get started organizing in the heart of your home and to get you comfortable with using no budget, no skills, repurposed items in your own home. Remember, organizing is about creating systems that work best for your unique needs, space, and budget. Join me in organizing with no-cost repurposed items so that you can make more time, more space, and budget in your life for the things that are most important to you. You can find many more organizing and repurposing tips and ideas at organize31.com.